and more intrinsically, in more detail, about one's connection with Allah through one's prayer. That's the main thing. The one has a connection to Allah Azza wa Jal through one's prayer. If that's not going to happen, then it's going to be difficult for a person to have a connection with Allah Azza wa Jal. And we mentioned, the story of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, that the birds used to come land on his head. He was standing so still. He was so devoted in his prayers. And we mentioned as well that we plan for all sorts of things in our lives. We plan for going out to restaurants, and we plan to go to the beach, and we plan for sporting events, we plan for movie nights, we plan for shopping events, we plan for everything. But have we ever once planned that on this day I'm going to pray 20 rak'at for the sake of Allah? I'm going to pray, 2 rak'at, very long ruku', very long sujood. 2 rak'at is going to take me 10 minutes. 10 minutes, wow. But, so if we're not planning for those things, that means really our connection to Allah Azza wa Jalla through our prayer isn't what it should be. It means basically all we're doing is getting rid of the faridah. We spoke about this last week. We said no one, except those who already wear clothes from Best and Less, no one would aspire to go shopping at Best and Less. We might have to do it, but that's not our aspiration. We're only going there out of necessity. Our aspirations would be to shop at Coach and Dolce and Gabbana or wherever else is popular and expensive and nice and trendy. Alright, G-Star, isn't it? Is it still trendy, G-Star? I'm not anymore. Everyone's had enough. Moved on to something else. Alright? So, no one aspires to shop at Best and Less. You might have to, everyone has to. We all have things that we don't particularly are proud of in that sense. But we don't aspire to it. No one says, that's it. My dream day, I'm going to go shop at Best and Less. I've got enough money to shop. No one says that. It's not. So, in the case of our salat, if we can't accept that for something that's going to last a year or 2 or 5 years, maybe, for example, how can we accept that for something that's eternal? How can we accept that for something that's going to last forever? Because that's what our next life will be built on. The life of the hereafter is built on those deeds that we do in this life. And on top of those deeds, the head of all those deeds, the best of all those deeds is the prayer. So it's about one's connection to Allah Azza wa Jalla through that prayer, and one's love and commitment to that prayer, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the prayer is not the end of it. We don't just pray, and that's the point. No. Allah's the point. We pray to get to Allah. But the main way to get to Allah is the main connection that an individual has is through the prayer. Alright, so we talked about as well the congregational prayer, particularly for the brothers, that this is secret of the whole deen, is to be tied to the masajid of Allah, the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then even if a person has a valid excuse, that even though they execute and they have that excuse, they shouldn't be kicked back about it. I've got an excuse, that's it, get out of jail free card. It shouldn't be that way. It should be that a person feels nadama, feels remorse, and feels bad at the fact that they couldn't go, even though they got a valid excuse. They couldn't go to the masjid. إنما تعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والدعاء والهدى والضلالة على الخير والحث والتمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسول الله ابتغاء مرضات الله وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنام وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A praise that's worthy of a sovereign and a beneficent bestower of bounties and mercies, and the maker of laws that we abide by, and laws that all creatures and all creations abide by. And we ask our Lord Most High to send copious and eternal blessings and salutations upon our beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So then the Imam rahimahullah, nafa'ana bihi wa bikum, radiallahu anhu wa ankum, Imam al-Haddad, may Allah be pleased with him and pleased with you, may Allah benefit us from him and from you. He says, وَعَلَيْكَ بِالتَّفَرُّغِ يَوْمَ الْجُمْعَةِ مِنْ جَمِيعِ أَجْوَالِ الدُّنْيا.
Free yourself every Friday from all worldly preoccupations.
Okay, so this applies to both brothers and sisters, male and female. Is everyone looking at a copy of the text? Everyone can see? Yeah. So we should be freeing ourselves, male or female, on the day of Jummah. Particularly, like and for sisters, please take it that I mean when there isn't a valid excuse not to pray. So when that time of the month is there, then it doesn't apply. But when otherwise, for all people, male and female, then a person should, as much as possible, leave the day of Friday as a day of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a difference of opinion among some of the scholars, and this is Imam al-Haddad's view, all right, and that's what we're reading his book, so we take that view. But I just wanted to let you know that there's a difference of opinion because the Jews, they have what they call the Sabbath, or the Sabbath in English, and that's the day when they don't do anything. They're not allowed to even turn on lights. The Orthodox strict Jews, they're not allowed to drive cars. And one time I asked the rabbi, I said, it's amazing you guys do this, What they do, they turn the light on Friday. When, like now Maghrib, now they started the Sabbath. As soon as Maghrib comes, they start. And then I said to him, how do you get around it, the fridge and all that? He goes, we put our food out, we put everything ready, and they're not allowed to do any work in any way, shape or form. And I asked the rabbi, I go to him, what if someone lives far from the synagogue? Is it better for that person to drive to the synagogue and attend? Their ceremony goes for ages. They're like, whatever, their event for their worship for the Sabbath goes for like 3 hours. It's just long. I left after 3 hours. I don't know how long it goes for. Anyway, and then I asked the rabbi, I said, what if someone lives far away and the only way they can get there is by car? And he goes, it's better for them not to come. So that's the way they take it, that there's nothing. So that's why some scholars have the opinion that you shouldn't only have the day of Friday or Jummah as free for worshipping. It should not just be Jummah. But Jummah should be there, but not just Jummah. That other days should be made, like Monday nights and things like that. And the worshipping for Jummah starts Thursday night at Maghrib. That's when the real Jummah. So now it's Saturday, Islamically speaking, after Maghrib. Now it's actually not Friday anymore, it's Saturday. Yeah? Alright? So a person should prepare themselves, if they possibly can, min jami' ashghal ad-dunya. And that's what he's really referring to. From, what does he say in English?
From all the preoccupations.
Okay? So in other words, and look, I think personally my view is, and this is my view, and I know it's better, is we should, if we can, do Jummah, because we're so busy in this society in which we live in, and there's no adhan, there's no stopping for anything in this society. Even Christmas things are open, We're like, no, that's even a big deal anymore. Even you talk to Christians or so-called Christians, it's not a big deal. They just want to hang out with their family. It's not about Jesus or religion. It's just about being with their family. It's not about, religious. So in other words, what we're saying is, if it was another day during the year, they do the same thing. It doesn't matter what it is for them. A lot of people I speak to. Not to say that all of them are like that. Okay? So, on that day of Jummah, because we don't have the opportunity very often, and then we should, at least Thursday night, leave it free, rather than going out to cafes and hanging out with friends and doing whatever. That should be the night for Ibadah. That's when the Ibadah should start. If you work on Friday, work on Friday, no worries. But leave it Thursday night, you should be able to prepare yourself. Friday morning, change your routine a bit. So in other words, that means if you're on Thursday, normally you watch whatever it is. No one watches TV anymore, it's like a cliche. Or whatever you do, whatever it is, Freeview or Stan or Netflix or whatever it is that you normally watch on different nights of the week, that on Thursday night,
is it Jummah that starts Thursday night? Or?
Yeah, Jummah starts Thursday night. Every night does. Every Islamic night starts like that. Okay, so every Islamic day actually starts from the night, because what came first, night or day? Night. Allah created night, and then death before life. It only makes sense that Allah created the universe and created the sun later on. So the night's first. Okay, so that means whatever your normal routine, soccer on, whatever it is, or shopping with the girls, Thursday night, sorry girls, what can you do? Try and make that time for Ibadah. So that means reading Surah Al-Kahf on Thursday. That's one of the sunan. If you read it, you'll be protected from Dajjal. And also Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, the calm. They say the Sikandar, is Alexander. They say Sikandar is Alexander the Great. They say some of the ulama that he built the wall on the Caucasus Islands in Georgia and islands, the Caucasus Mountains, and the Ya'juj and Ma'juj were locked in there, and then he melted the metal and stuff, and so they dig out every time, and then when we read Surah Al-Kahf as well, that wall is blocked back up and they can't get out. Ya'juj and Ma'juj, the nasty of nasties, they come, they drink up all the rivers, they eat up everything that's green, they dig up the graves and they eat the bones of the ancestors. They basically destroy Earth, and they just end up destroying us. So I don't know, personally I think there's a manifestation of that already with like the erosion in the rivers no longer carry a certain place. Malaysia is a really good example, or a bad example, but there's been so much logging of forests that when it rains, all the dirt goes into the river, and that's it, no life can live in the river anymore. And then when you say the digging up, when the Prophet is saying the digging up of the graves and eating the bones of the ancestors, my personal view is that culture is destroyed. We're heading towards having only one type of culture on this planet, and that's Western culture. I went to Japan last year, and 15 years ago they were wearing their kimonos and whatever else, and now it's short skirts and jeans for the guys. This culture's different. They all drink beer. I freaked out. Japanese people drink beer. It was amazing. Don't worry about Japanese. Look at our culture, our countries. There used to be my grandfather. If you're from India, if you're from Pakistan, if you're from Afghanistan, if you're from my grandfather, the photo of my grandfather will be exactly the same as your grandfather. Turkey, you'd be wearing one of these. That's what they used to wear, all of them. Doesn't matter where you come from. But now, my dad, Allah, your dad, the different us, alhamdulillah, we're coming back. And so that's what I personally think, the distraction of cultures, and not only in terms of media and in terms of movies and all those types of things, but in terms of law. The only law that's acceptable now is Western law. Everything else is, what, you have 4 wives? Oh, sorry, that's barbaric. You chop off hands? Oh, that's unacceptable. Well, what's it to you? We want to live that way. We chose this way. No. You can't do it. You're not allowed to do that. So that's the breaking of the cultures in even language. Everyone now speaks English. So that's my personal view. The drinking up the rivers, they ate everything green. What, we live in rainforests? There's nothing left anymore. And all the environmental destruction that's going on. That's not the real Ya'juj and Ma'juj, by the way. The real Ya'juj, the Gog and Magog, they call them in English, they're a manifestation. They're really going to happen. Yeah. It's for us to see the signs of the end. It's for us to see the signs that Muslim, what the Prophet told you is right. Look, it's happening in front of your eyes. Open your eyes. Open the eye of your heart and the eye of your mind so you can see the reality of that which is around you, so you can have stronger faith in Allah, because Iman and conviction is the only thing that will save you. So if we don't read Surah Al-Kahf, we won't be protected from Dajjal. Dajjal is the Antichrist. He comes as a top bloke. Legend, Nobel Prize winner, whatever, champion of champions, top person. And then all says, it's going to help us, it's going to save the world. He becomes a president, then he becomes a king, then he says, I'm a prophet, then he says, I'm God. When I was a believer. People believe, well, he's God. Shoots the arrow into the sky, it comes back with blood on it. It tells the earth, invity, like, grow vegetation, the vegetation grows. He tells the sky, rain, and it rains. It's got power. I was like, yeah, this is the man, this is the person we have to follow. And when Allah, even people will run away to Mecca or Medina or to the mountains. And whoever follows the Dajjal, he'll give them what they want. Food, money, fame, whatever it is. And whoever doesn't, mana'ahum. That's it, they're deprived, they can't eat. So that even the Prophet in the Hadith, it says it straight out. They'll go to the mountains and their food will be dhikr. Remembrance of Allah, keep them nourished. And then other groups go to Mecca and Medina. And even when they go to Mecca and Medina, the Dajjal comes. He comes for how long? 40 days. The first day is like a year, second day is like a month, third day is like a week, and the rest are like normal days. Not quick, in and out. Quick. It happens quickly and it finishes quickly. So during that time, the people that run to Mecca and Medina, even they know where they have to go. They know the hadith, they know what the story is. They go there and he comes with his dancing girls and his trumpets and his drums. And the people, there's a shaking in Medina and Mecca. He's not allowed to enter those two cities. You can't enter Mecca and Medina. That's why they're the Haramain. They're protected, the sacred. The sacred lands, the sacred precincts. Okay? But people who are Muslims who know he's the Dajjal, they know he's the Dajjal. They know that's the Dajjal. They still live and they follow him. That's like someone, they know it's haram, but they still do it. You see the correlation? They know it's haram. They know it's haram to eat that. They know it's haram to say that. They know it's haram to do that. They know it's haram to look at that. They know it's haram to touch that. But they still do it. So the believer doesn't, the Muslim should know, should be afraid that these manifestations, these things that are going to occur, they're occurring daily in our lives. We're being tested. Allah's testing us to make us strong so we don't fall into the trap. So that's the type of thing that we should be preparing for on Jummah in the evening beforehand. وَاجْعَلْ هَذَا الْيَوْمَ الشَّرِيفَ خَالِصًا لِآخِرَتِكَ.
Devote this noble day entirely to the hereafter.
Alright, so if it's possible, if you can do it, if you can spare the time, make the time, arrange your affairs, so you're spending some of the time at least, especially the night before, and then now the day's a bit longer, so if you come home from work, especially it's going to get longer too, then make sure you do that. And then also, he says, فَلَا تَشْتَغَلْ فِيهِ إِلَّا بِمَحْضِ الْخَيْرِ مُجَرَّدِ الْإِقْبَالِ عَلَى اللَّهِ.
Occupy yourself with pure goodness and resolute movement toward God.
وأحسن المراقبة لساعات Okay, so he says that just try and spend as much time as you can, occupy yourself with all that is purely good, and that the end result of it will be that you'll be heading towards Allah Azza wa Jalla. So that means if you've got a family, then you should do it with your family. Read Surah Al-Kahf with your family. And the Salihin, they used to read it once in the night and once in the day. So if you can do that, that's good. Right? So if you can read it, for example, after Maghrib on Thursday night, which is Friday, and then after Fajr, for example, on Friday morning, you sit with your family, each one read a page, each one read a few lines. That type of thing to create the environment that this is a different day during the week. This is what's the day of Friday for us? It's Eid. It's Eid. What happens with Eid? How when Eid Fitr comes especially, how much do we prepare for it? When Eid of Ramadan comes, how much do we prepare for it like 3 weeks beforehand? We start going to Westfields and getting our green shoes. People wear green shoes, by the way. Get their green shoes and their whatever else and whatever, and they prepare. How much beforehand we start getting the lollies for the house and decorating and Eid al-Fitr Mubarak, and so every Friday should be Eid. Our family should feel that in our households. Our younger brothers and sisters and our children and our mothers and fathers, what should they feel Eid? Oh, Mum, tomorrow's Friday. I'll make dinner. She said, I know she's going to fall over, she's going to faint. Or I'll do the dishes. You're going to have a heart attack. Make sure you got triple O on speed dial. So straight away when you say it, you can make sure that she's all preempted. Can you pre-book an ambulance these days? All right? Whatever you have to do, tell her. Tell Dad, don't worry, tomorrow's Friday, it's Eid. I'm going to do this. Mum, I'm going to do that. Does it make it feel like Eid for them? Of course. All right, so our households should feel that way. And it's not just the celebratory part of it, but it's the fact that it's a differentiation. It's the best day. That's the day, and by the way, the Qiyamah doesn't start unless it's a Friday. So if they're predicting that something's going to hit the earth soon or something's all going to end, what day is it? When is it? Has it already happened? Yesterday? Alright, well, it's a dead one anyway. Well, it was Thursday night, then we could have been scared, because then it would have been on Friday, So whatever predictions come, whatever gets said, if it's not going to happen on a Friday, it's not the end of time. So you can rest assured and rest easy, but if they say it's going to happen on a Friday, you've got to do what you've got to do. Okay? So he says, وَأَحْسِنُ الْمُرَاقَبَ لِسَاعَةٍ, even before we go there. Like so, let's say for example, some of the Salihin, what are the type of things they used to do on Fridays? They used to hand out sweets. I've seen them with my own eyes when we were studying. Some of the awliya, the big salihin, they'll get the little kids and they'll give them sweets in the street. They have their pockets full of sweets on the way to the masjid. So the kids were running crazy. And on the way back, they buy them, because it's hot in Yemen, they buy them ice cream. So when one of the Habib comes, they put whatever, $20 or $50. The ice cream costs 2 cents, because this is what they do. They just get a plastic mold and put a plastic bag in it, put a paddle pop in it, and that's it. There's sugar and sugar and sugar. And that's it. So they hand them out to the kids, and the kids love it. They know. Every Jummah, when you go past the Dukan, the kids are waiting. They know. Why shouldn't it be that way? It's on Jummah. So you can do that in your household. Some of the, not a sunnah, but a tradition they've made. Because Eid, what do we normally eat? The Eid that passed, what are we supposed to eat on it?
Meat.
Right. So they eat meat on Fridays. They make it, khalas, in our household, whatever happens during the rest of the week happens. And when we were in Yemen, people, they were poor. So what was their meat? Chicken. Back then, it was a kilo of meat was more than 10 Australian dollars. Who's got 10 Australian dollars to buy a kilo of meat over there? So they buy chicken, it costs about $1.50. That's it. And they invite each other. So the neighbours invite each other to come. It's Eid. Isn't that what happens on Eid? Then you visit your friends and they visit you and this and that. Right? So that's the type of things that used to happen. These are traditions that they're not specifically from the Sunnah. Okay, but I personally believe that all families should do that, particularly in Australia. Because we don't have any, we don't know Friday what? Friday it's TGIF, isn't that what it is? Thank God it's Friday. Meaning what? Thank God we can go get drunk. That's what it is. There's a restaurant or whatever when you went to Malaysia, it's called TGIF. Well, they go get drunk there. It's America too. So we want to have a different, thank God it's Friday. Really that belongs to us. We should be, all our stuff should be called TGIF because alhamdulillah it's Friday. So we need to separate and we need to differentiate that day, not just for ourselves, but particularly for our children. You know, like one of the issues we're having, like this guy, the 15-year-old kid that shot the cop, whatever he was, accountant at the cops. There's no connection to anything. Well, there's plenty of reasons. I'm not an expert in radicalisation, so I don't know. Nor do I claim to be. One of the things is for young blokes, we always want to connect. Like we said at the beginning, we always want to be the brother that doesn't pray, and you want to ostracise him, keep him different, or the sister doesn't pray, you want to keep away from the group, peer pressure. We all want to belong, and cultural things make us belong, and cultural things develop most of them from the deen. And so if we develop cultural things that go back to the deen, or have a reason in the deen, then that's fine. That's fine in the Islam. No, we eat meat, why? Because we have to chop up Eid, you're supposed to eat meat anyway, that's sunnah. And so we're saying Friday's Eid, that's okay. But when we take these things out of the deen, the hadith, it's only this hadith, it's not Sahih, not Bukhari, not Muslim, not from the Qur'an, what are you going to attach yourself to? You're a human being, you have emotions, you have feelings. What's your attachment going to be to the in Saudi? Which is tragic. You know? They break all the, you guys went, you saw it, you don't even know where anyone's buried. All the places where the Prophet used to drink, the places where the guards, they know where the places are. They put guards at those places to keep you away from it. One of the Mashiach, he went to go up to Hira, and he goes, Hajji, what are you doing? It's not even Sunnah. What are you talking about? It's not even Sunnah. He goes, I want to go up there. That's where the Prophet went. He goes, it's not part of the manasik al-Hajj, not part of the... He goes, listen. He goes, if I can find the place where the Prophet defecated, I'll go there and I'll lie in it. That's what he said to the you know. That's because we love the Prophet so much. So those types of things help us attach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we have things that are tangible, when we have the Prophet, they're going to destroy it. These same people, if it wasn't for the Ottomans, where would the Prophet's imamah be? Where would the Prophet's jubba be? Where would his hair be, alayhi salam? Where the bowl he drank out of, his sword? What are you talking about? What? Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Just thinking about the Prophet. One time they took it to Chechnya. Go have a look at it on the internet. The bowl of the Prophet goes to they had a public holiday. It's a bowl. It's a bowl. If you don't cry, if you watch the video and you don't cry, check yourself. Check yourself. They had a public holiday, they closed the streets, they got a plane, chartered plane to go, Turkey, pick up the one bowl the Prophet drank from. One bowl. Afwan. Then they closed the streets. No one else on the road except the car. What did they get? The best car, Bentley. They got a $1 million car. And the president came. I'm not a politician. I don't like politicians. But anyway, he came and he sat in the car. And the people were losing it. On the side of the road, losing it, crying. Saying something of the Prophet came to Chechnya. Something of the Prophet, losing it. Then they went to the Grand Mosque. And then they bring it into the mosque, and then they filled it up with water, and they kept on pouring water into it and pouring water, and people were drinking, people were passing out. It was amazing. It was the bowl of the Prophet of Allah that he drank from. If you don't have a connection like that, of course you're going to do crazy, stupid stuff. The bowl of the Prophet will stop you from doing something like that. I don't think it won't. There's connection in the heart. The emotions aren't running wild. They're connected to something. So hey, it's a bowl, it's made of clay, and it's quite ordinary looking, really. It's nothing, not like stuff they have. But what? It's an emotional connection. Otherwise, if you take the emotion out of it, it's like a loose cannon. Well, of course, he's going to go kill someone. He's going to kill himself. Of course, he's going to blow himself. What's he connected to? Emotionally. He's not connected to anything. So those things are important for us. Those things are deadly important for us. And if we don't have these traditions in our households, if we don't have these connections, how's it going to happen? Go find me someone who's connected to the Prophet like that is going to do something. Because the sanctity of life is so valuable to the Prophet of Allah. That's one of his sunnah. Primary objective, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He only sent, he was a mercy to mankind. So mercy, that's not mercy. Oh, and then I wanted to talk to you about that. If anyone saw it, there was a sister. I don't know who she is. I hope none of you did. She was on the TV. She was wearing a hijab, and then they came to interview her. Started yelling, grabbing the microphone. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And what did you think of it?
I don't know why she did that.
Do you agree with what she did?
It is from the Maryland one.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Would you agree with it?
No.
Why not? The police, they were on her house, they were stopping her from going to her house.
Her mother was in there with the police by herself.
You know what I mean? Why shouldn't she go to, carry on and get upset?
There's 2 cameras on her, just stopping
Hey, weren't there 2 cameras on her?
her. 2 reporters.
And recording her, and she's walking to her own home?
I think they were trying to get her to retaliate. That's what
Right.
they were irritating her.
Alright. Okay? So she's got a right to be upset, Mahak? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, but does she have a right to... It's called qadhf. If you say to someone, if a man says to a woman, or a woman says to a man, or a man to a man, or a woman to a woman, that you're promiscuous, in Sharan, you get 100 lashes for that. So look, that's what I was saying about the emotions. I'm with you, upset. But Muslims don't act like that. Anyone who it might be. Alright, we give her an excuse because she was upset, but we can't condone that action. Okay? Everyone gets upset. If someone's standing in front of my house, I'm going to get upset too. But because my emotions, I pray. And I want you to lahadhi, think about this point. I pray, I fast, okay? They're all bodily things. That's my body doing things. Okay, but when my emotions, when my nafs is not under control, and my emotions are out of control, I have no direction for them, of course I'm going to do that. Of course I'm going to do that. But okay, I'm upset. Someone's upset me. Whatever the case might be. Whatever the case. One time, the Prophet brought to me, alayhi. We always go back to him. And the man said, I don't have the change. Wait here, I'll go back and get the change. He waited until the next day. This is before Nabuwah. He waited all night, then he left when everyone went, when the shop market closed. He came back in the morning, he stood in the same spot. And he waited till the guy came, he said, still here? He said, Kalaftani, you made it hard for me. Before Nabuwah, before he was a prophet, because he was a Sadiq al-Amin. He was the honest and the trustworthy. So when our emotions aren't attached to something, it's a bowl. I'm with you. It's a bowl. But what's it? The bowl of who? Of course I'm supposed to love it. Of course I'm supposed to be attached to it. Anything that is attached to the Prophet ﷺ, we're supposed to love it. Right? But when my emotions aren't attached to anything, doesn't matter if my body's doing something, I'm going to be a loose cannon. Probably pun intended there. Right? Who knows what's going to come from me? So this ideology of, destroying the things that, what are you talking about? If I had the hair of the Prophet ﷺ, take everything. I don't want anything else, man. Just give me the hair. Give me the hair. I'm serious. I'm going to, it's not worth much value anyway, but you can have it. Even my books, take my books. Take everything I have. Just let me cover my aura, and that's all I really need. Just give me the hair of the Prophet, or the bowl. Just give me the bowl. I don't want anything else. I'm serious. I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm serious. That's what we're supposed to tie our emotions to, so that we're not loose, so we're not all over the joint. Any moment we're going to crack and blow up, or blow someone up, or kill someone, or go off. What for? Not to say we're going to be perfect. We're not. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to realize what we're doing. Whereas when we're Muslim on the outside, and now we're doing the ibadah, but our emotions are tied to something. When the Sahaba, they used to see the Prophet ﷺ, they got dumbstruck. They became dumbstruck. They were dumbfounded. They were in awe of the Prophet of Allah. That's emotion. Like when they say Biba, isn't what they do? That's what they do. Because they're in awe. They're in awe of the reputation of the PR machine that says so and so is so and so. You know what I mean? So what? So we tie our emotions to saying that's unrealistic or unreal or temporary, when we tie it to the best of creation. The best of creation we tie it to. Alayhi salatu wasalam. Right? So, in terms of, that's like, we took a few different subjects, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If our Jummah and our households have that life to it, that the kids, people, everyone realizes Jummah is something special. Like we should be, how many times I've gone to a khutbah, how many khutbahs we've been to? Not once the next day I heard, or afterwards, any brother saying, the khatib was saying this, that. What's the point then? Or when I was in Yemen, they'll talk about the khutbah all week long. All week long. Everywhere you went, they were talking about the khutbah. The khatib said this, and the khatib said that, and what do you think about that? Do you agree with this? It was the main context. It was the main, that's it. Everyone was sitting, and everyone, it's a bit different here, but the Turks do it, why can't we do it? You never see a Turk come after the adhan. They're always there before the adhan. Where I pray, it's too soft. The khatib's already started, it's only too soft, and then when the salat's finished, it's 30, 40 soft, 40 rows. Why is everyone coming late for? And they make it 1:15 to 1:45. You've got 15 minutes if you're at work. But what? We're lackadaisical. It's just something we've got to do to get it off our backs. So if we bring these aspects of the Jummah into our lives, I guarantee our lives will change. I guarantee you'll see changes in your children. I guarantee you you'll see changes in your households, and then changes in the society, changes in our community. Jummah is the ramaz. The Jummah is the symbol, the sha'ira of Islam. And if every week it's just going, oh, was that Jummah? Oh, was Jummah? Just that Jummah today? What's the point then? Where's the symbol? Where's the, what's Ramaz in English? Like the, it's like the World Cup. It's not gold. Ramaz is like the.
It's the day of the Muslim.
Yeah, Ramaz is an Arabic word. Ramaz means kind of like, it means it's the showpiece. Yeah, the icon, or the showpiece. That's it. This is the big deal. This is the show. Right? Jummah. If it's coming and going every week, and we're not feeling it, then what? Why is there Islam? Where's the reality of our emotion? Because it's an emotional day. It's an Eid. So those things we should do in Eid. And so for the brothers, try and wear white on Jummah. Even if you don't wear jubba and whatever else, but sunnah to wear white. Get some really nice perfume and keep it only for Jummah. Don't put it on any other day. And for the sisters, I suggest you do the same. Have some nice clothes that you wear. I know you can't wear the same thing every Jummah. I know that. I get that. Right? But at least, something nice every Jummah that you only wear it on Jummah. Maybe every second or fourth or whatever it is, Jummah. Okay, a watch, a ring, not a ring, a watch, a pair of shoes, something. And then for the brothers also, is sunnah to go early. And the person who goes first in the first row, it's as if they slaughtered a camel, a badana, or the next is a cow, and a sheep all the way down to an egg. And so what happens, the brothers, they come after the khatib on the minbar, there's no ajr, there's no reward. That's it, the farida goes, the obligation's gone, but there's no reward. What's the point? What's the point? And so that's what he's saying. And he gives advice about that as well. He says, وَأَحْسِنُ الْمُرَاقَبَةِ لِسَاعَةِ الْإِجَابَةِ وهي ساعة تكون في كل يوم جمعة لا يوافقها مسلم يسأل الله فيها خيرا ويستعيذه من شر إلا استجاب الله له.
Watch carefully for the hour in which requests are granted, which is a period of time in each Friday when a Muslim who asks God to grant him any kind of goodness or protect him from evil is granted it.
That's the reason why we spend our time in Jummah. And if we can make the whole day, that's why. Because there's an hour that Allah said, the Prophet said in the Hadith, there's an hour where whatever you ask for is going to be accepted. Yep? Whatever you ask for, Allah will say, yep, take it. And whatever you ask Allah to keep away from you, any harm, Allah will take the harm from you. So that's why. Because no one knows when that time comes. Some say it's after Fajr, some say it's between Asr and Maghrib, some say it's when the Khatib goes up on the Minbar, some say it's between the two khutbahs that the Imam gives. No one knows. It's like Laylatul Qadr, the secret. That's why we stay up the last 10 nights, if we can, to try and catch it. And also we should try and spend the Friday so we can try and catch that hour. Okay? Make dua for each other as well. So he says, وَعَلَيْكَ بِالتَّبَكُّرِ إِلَى الْجُمْعَةِ وَلَوْ أَنْ تَرُوحَ إِلَيْهَا قَبْلَ الزَّوَالِ.
Be early to the Friday prayer, get there before the sun reaches the zenith.
Alright, so we talked about going early, and the zenith, that's when the sun's its midpoint meridian in the sky, that's when the time for Dhuhr starts. وَالْقُرْبِ مِنَ الْمِنْبَرِ.
Sit near the pulpit.
Okay, we discussed that. So coming early, the one who gets in the first, the pulpit where the Imam gives the khutbah, comes first, they get what? As if they sacrifice what? Okay, and the rest. وَالْإِنصَاتِ لِلْخُطْبَةِ عَفْوًا وَالْإِنصَاتِ لِلْخُطْبَةِ.
Listen carefully to the sermon.
Okay, and then he says, listen carefully to the sermon, and he continues, he says, وَحْذَرْ أَن تَشْتَغِلَ عَنْهُ بِذِكْرٍ أَوْ فِكْرٍ.
Beware of distracting yourself with invocation or reflection.
فَضْلًا عَنَ اللَّغْوِ وَحَدِيثِ النَّفْسِ.
Not to mention trivial talk or aimless thought.
واستشعر في نفسك أنك مقصود بجميع ما تسمعه من الوعظ والوصية.
Feel that all the admonition and counseling that you hear is addressed to you personally.
Okay, can you see why no one gets any benefit from Jummah? Imam's telling us. Well, not no one. إلا من رحم ربي. إلا من رحم ربي. Some people, they sit there, the brothers, they're playing with their phones. The Jummah is batil. They're with their phone, you know what I mean? Some brothers, they're talking, this, that. I see it every week. Every single week. Not to mention the people that are doing harm to others. Not the person doing harm to themselves, it's right. Parking, no stopping, parking people's driveways, parking in the middle of the street. You're not believing me, yes, the Sheikh's just chained us up. These own two eyes. The guy came in his truck, parked in the middle of the street, went to pray, came and went. Okay? So he says that. But insult. Insult means to be totally silent and focused on what the khutbah is about. Okay? And then he says, وَحْضُرْ أَن تَشْتَغِلَ عَنْهُ بِذِكْرٍ وَفِكْرٍ. Even while the khatib's giving the khutbah, don't occupy yourself with the remembrance of Allah. Even that. Because that is the remembrance of Allah. Whatever the khatib's saying. Oh, fikr. thinking about how you're going to do da'wah or anything. And that's the dini aspects of things. فضلا عن اللغو والحديث النفس. Even so, that's the things that are in the deen, don't even do them. What about laghu? Useless things, waste of time, and just thinking about nothing, daydreaming. Wait to go to the khutbah. I mean, sisters think the masjid is like this place, where amazing things happen. They're amazing, but Allah say amazing, right? The brothers are all like half knocked out. I swear to Allah, I saw the guys like, you come. It's 20 minutes, brother. I know you're tired. I mean, I'm with you. I'll fall asleep in the khutbah too. I'm with you. Happens. It's 20 minutes. Sometimes the khutbah is so boring. Okay, the guy puts you to sleep. Maybe I should have him standing at my bedside when I want to go to sleep. But the point being, we need to focus on it. The more we're focused on it, and the more we make it a big deal in our lives, the more benefit we're going to derive from it. And he says, وَاسْتَشْعِرْ فِي نَفْسِكَ أَنَّكَ مَقْصُودٌ بِجَمِيعِ مَا تَسْمَعُهُ مِنَ الْوَعْظِ وَالْوَصِيَّةِ. So he says that you're the one the khatib's talking to. You should feel in your own self that you're the one the khatib's talking to. If he talks about riyah, showing off, you should think about what riyah you've done. Yeah, I'm like that. I do riyah. If he's talking about adam taqwa, not having taqwa of Allah, say, in many situations I find whatever the Imam's talking about. But this is an important point for any of you guys that are going to do khutbahs in the future. It says, min al-wa'adh wal-wasiyah. What does it say for wa'adh in English?
Admonition and counseling.
Okay, that's what the khutbah is supposed to be. The khutbah is supposed to be admonition. The khatib is supposed to be telling us off. In our colloquial way of saying things. Okay? And counsel. Today, what's the khatib? And the khatib's talking about dhikr. It's good to make dhikr, Habib. What's that got to do with khutbah? What has that got to do with the khutbah? Dhikr, I'm with you, but it's not the time for it. Every khatib this week should be talking about what happened on Friday. If your khatib, the khutbah you went to this week, the khatib wasn't talking about it, that's a waste of a khutbah. Every khatib in the whole country should be telling the people, watch out for your kids, watch out what they're doing, watch out what your sons are saying, watch out what your daughters are saying, watch out who they're associating with, who they're going, who they're coming from, watch out if there are big funny businesses going on. What's going on? This is nuts. This guy's 15 years of age. He doesn't know how to do anything. He's an idiot. He's 15. You can't even leave school. You're not even allowed to leave school when you're that age. I don't mean him. I mean 15-year-olds. Sorry for 15, but when I was 15, I didn't know nothing. When I was 20, I didn't know anything, let alone 15. I'm 42 and I hardly know anything. Alright, so what I'm saying is that's the wa'adh. Hey, wake up, Muslims. Why are you sleeping? We shouldn't be sleeping. This just went on in our back. Where's Parramatta? It's here. It's here. Now, this is us Muslims. We're thinking, he's killing the kuffar. Habibi, he's going to come and shoot me and you later on because why? We didn't subscribe to his strain of Islam. We didn't subscribe. How many times they said to my face, you're kafir, to my face. When I say I'm against ISIS, I'm against what's going on, I'm against all these al-Qaeda. And I don't mean these actual people, but the people that are doing the fitna. I don't know if it's whoever it was. I don't hear it from the news. But I'm against all these terrorism things, all these using violence and this whole kuffar mentality. I'm against it. What? Yeah, Habibi, I'm against it because the Prophet's against it. And I'm connected to the bowl of the Prophet as much as I can be. So whatever he does, I do. Full stop. I never have an opinion in the matter. I never might have an opinion in the matter. Nobody. It's not my deen, it's his deen, and what Allah told him is saying. So, if you didn't hear that at your khutbah today, if your khatib didn't talk about that, it was a waste of an hour. Straight up and down. Alhamdulillah, you prayed, the faridas off your head. Okay? Not for 1 week we should be talking about it. Not for 1 week. Not for one. I'm talking about the khutabat, the people doing khutbah. Other people have responsibility, the associations, the groups, the mosques, they have some responsibility to do something about it. Okay? So it's going back to the same thing. We think, they're going to kill the kuffar. They're going to shoot me and you. One day, the day's going to come and these nut jobs are going to do that. And then we're going to be like, we should have done something back in September, October, whatever it was, 2015. So if we're not taking some responsibility for what happened that day, even if it's 0.0000001%, then we're not part of the ummah. We're not really concerned about the ummah. We're not really concerned about what's going on. Now that's just unacceptable. That's all. It's like there's no words to describe how disastrous, that is. There's no. That's something we should be concerned with. So if you're going to be a khatib, someone asks you to do the khutbah, and you haven't got something to say that's poignant and relevant, decline. Don't embarrass yourself, and don't waste the time of the people coming to the masjid. If you haven't got something relevant to say, and a wa'adh, and an admonition, and a counsel for the people, then don't worry about it. What for? You're going to talk to them about dhikr. Alright, I'm with you, but how's that relevant to what's going on? If you want to use dhikr about this situation, then alright, I'm with you. If we don't remember Allah, we don't have the Prophet in our hearts, then the shaitan's going to get into our hearts and we're going to do crazy stuff like this nut job. Like this kid. Can't even be considered a nut job. It's probably not even valid. This kid. Right? So if it's not an admonition and it's not a counsel, so thanks, brother. We'll get someone else. And then it says, this is a really important point. It says, وَقْرَأْ بَعْدِ السَّلَامِ من بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. He says, and this is whether you're in the masjid, whether you're praying dhuhr, if you're a sister or you're praying, this is very important. He says, وأنت ثانٍ رجليك وقبل أن تتكلم الفاتحة والإخلاص والمعاوذتين سبعا سبعا.
Before you move your legs, after the end of the prayer or talk, recite the Fatiha, Surah Al-Ikhlas, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, and قل أعوذ برب الناس 7 times each.
Alright, so this comes from the Athar and Mujarrab and Ba'alawi, the Imam Haddad's people. They do this. So after every Jummah, before they move, and this is what I recommend to each one of you to do, particularly in the times in which we live in. As soon as you say Assalamu alaikum, and Assalamu alaikum, before you start saying istighfar or doing your dhikr, you read al-Fatiha 7 times. And you read Qul Allahu Ahad 7 times. Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq 7 times. Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas 7 times. And they say that this will take away any bala from Jummah to Jummah. Any calamity, no calamity will befall you from Jummah to Jummah. Oh, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, everyone's tried it. Whoever's tried it has said to me the same thing. Myself included. Whatever calamities will not befall you from Jummah to Jummah. It's pretty easy. If people talk to you, just go like you're making a dua, because people like to talk, so you don't want to give taslim. You give taslim without, talking. But you don't talk, you don't move. And he says after that, وَقُلْ أَيْضًا بَعْدَ الْإِنْصِرَافِ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ سبحان الله العظيم وبحمد 100 مرة ففي الخبر لا يدل على فضل ذلك وبالله التوفيق.
And say when you leave the prayer, Subhanallah wa bihamdi 100 times, for there are hadiths which indicate the merit of this act and success is by God.
Right, so these are the type of things that, and the list is not limited to that. Not limited to that. You're a trendy bloke and you wear, G-Star's not trendy, whatever it is you wear, get a white shirt that you wear for Jummah. And get a white baseball cap if you don't wear a thing, a topi or whatever they call it. Right? White shoes, I don't know, they're trendy these days. Can you wear? Yeah, that's it. So white shoes, get a pair of white shoes, wear them, And now it's coming summer and all that, you can wear a white short or very light coloured. Very light colour. That's for the brothers. And for the sisters, as we said, make it a special day for yourself. Make even for the brothers, undergarments, make sure they're white. And then not only that, on Eid we're supposed to wear the best of what we have. So get something good, don't get some best unless you've got no choice. But if you can get around it, get some good quality stuff and wear it only for Jummah. Don't wear it on other days. Don't wear it on other days. I know white is like, we get stains on it, but don't worry, they've got like nice stain removal products these days, high-tech stuff. So you should be alright to get around it. Okay, but at least then when someone looks at you all wearing white, they're going to freak out, aren't they? And it's good in summer too. You can say, why? Well, because the Prophet used to wear white, alayhi salam, when he used to come to Jummah. And it's sunnah to wear white. If you wear the jubbah, whatever, it's good. Once a week, you wear the jubbah with your hat. Once a week, the abiya, whatever they call it. Okay? Once a week, it's okay. But if you don't want to do that, no worries. But at least try and wear white. I mean, in winter it's a bit hard because it's cold and white you don't make anything that warms you up really in white. So it's hard. But now summer's coming, there shouldn't really be too much of it. Make sure your socks are white and whatever else, so you can make sure the best perfume So you can wear it inshallah to make that day different from the rest of the days during the week. Any questions about any of those things? Pretty straightforward.
Regarding the Parramatta incident,
Yeah.
what's to be said about the burden of us to watch out for radicalisation compared to the political, saying it's a political issue, this is your fault.
Well, a very good question. So the question is, where do we sit on that? Like this act that this boy committed, like if he's 15, he's valid, all right. So we can't let him off the hook. Islamically speaking, what's the hukm of that act? What's the ruling of that act? Yeah, right. It's murder. It's murder. The guy murdered someone. And in the Qur'an it says that whoever purposefully kills someone, a homicide, right? What's their punishment? Khalidina fiha abadan. They go to Jahannam forever. A Muslim, but we can't condone murder, right? So if my brother, your brother, my blood brother, don't worry about my Muslim brother, my blood brother's going to go murder someone, what should be my position? Exactly. Okay? But what's our problem? This 1% or 3% or 4% of people who are misguided, because they got big mouths and they're on the internet and all that, they scare us. What are you scared for? What are you scared from? Just don't attack them straight and directly. But if you're going to do so, I'll tell you right now. But I'm a kafir with them anyway, so that's all right. You're not going to tell me. But if I was to know that so-and-so was going to do something and I couldn't stop it myself, 100% I'd do something about it. Because if I'm not, I'm involved. I was going to ask me. You knew so-and-so was going to kill someone and you didn't go and tell what? What are you talking about? Who cares if they're kafar or not kafar? Who cares if it's kafar? Where's Allah say, it's okay to kill a kafir? Where? It's only okay to kill a combatant, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim. So that's the whole trick of the whole deal. Once we make somebody kafir and they're not a believer and they're less than us, then it's easy to kill them. But that's not the case. Our job, our purpose on this earth after worshipping Allah is to call them to Allah. We want to kill them? Where the Prophet cried at the janazah of a Jew. What did the bloke do? He's like an accountant for the coppers or whatever. I mean, there's 50, I know myself about 10 Muslim police officers. That doesn't make any sense, but if we can't rationalise it in our own minds, in our own hearts, then we're going to fall into that trap. It's haram to kill someone. If someone tells you, you've got to stop him with your hand if you can, if not with your mouth, if not with your heart. But it doesn't work if he's going to kill someone. You've got to do something about it. If he tells you, I'm going to go tomorrow, or she, or you find out, and the real difficulty is this. Unfortunately, the police authorities, the spy networks, that have no idea, the intelligence agencies have no idea what they're doing. I'm happy to say this on record, and when I met them, I said the same thing to them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who's the good guy. They don't know who's the bad guy. They don't know who's the terrorist. They said it themselves. I didn't say it. I can't remember what her name is, the deputy. She's a woman, deputy of New South Wales Police. She was, basically, we don't have a clue. So all this money they're spending, all this hoo-ha, they don't know what they're doing. And I've sat with the report writers one time. We sat with the guy from, I don't want to say, but we sat with this very senior people. And I said they made a report. I said, are you serious? Is this your report? The guy's like, yeah. And we just picked it to pieces. And he's like, I didn't actually write it. The Prime Minister told me to write it. I go, your name's on it. And then he's like, obviously I don't really want to say. Anyway, I'm like, well, he's an academic. Oh, where's your academic integrity? You're telling me you don't believe the stuff that's in there because we picked him apart. Yet your name's on the report. So that's the difficulty for us. The difficulty, like, I've got my own contacts within counter-terrorism and within the police. That people I know who I trust who are Muslim, I'll ring them up and say, bro, do something about this. And I know the situation will be handled properly. That's the difficulty for us. And that's the problem they have. So we've got a problem that we haven't worked out what we're doing yet, and neither have they. So the issue for us, rather than them, like, I'm happy to say it, and you can say, quote me on this. All day long, quote me on this. Because if we don't fix up our game and they don't fix up their game, this problem's never going to get fixed up. And it's only getting worse. It's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. Right? So they don't know what they're doing. So when we go tell them, they stuff it up, unfortunately. They stuffed up the whole siege in, what do you do, is it, at a Link Cafe. This one, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to know what's going on. But they don't obviously know. They don't know who they need to surveil, who they need to follow, and who they need to trust. They don't know that. And I've got some inside information telling me they don't even want to spend resources on using Muslims in that regard. So what do you want? Don't come and blame us. Don't come and blame me. I'm not responsible for that. You're the security agencies. You guys got $700 million to build a building in Canberra. I didn't get jack. And then what's his face, Howard came out, and he came out with an action. Look it up. It's all what I'm saying. It's above board, but it's all the National Action Plan. See if you can find it. 38 million, $42 million. $42 million, 235,000 came to the Muslim community. The rest went elsewhere. Then Abbott recently had a thing where he gave I don't know how many millions of dollars. What did it do? Nothing. So don't try and pin it on us, mate. It's not just our fault. We have some responsibility to bear, but they don't know how to police it. They don't want to trust us. They don't want to listen to us. They want to do their own thing. That's just how they are. Go check out the bushfires. I spoke to the Aboriginal Corporation from the Blue Mountains. They said, yeah, we can stop bushfires every year. I'm like, what do you mean? They say, we do a cold burn. I said, what's that? They do a burn when it's just...
They burn a small area.
Well, that's what the white people do, but Aboriginal people don't do that. They follow it around, and all the frogs jump out of the way, all the snakes get out of the way. It's a cold burn. That's what they call it. It's cold, it's not a back burn. Back burn is it's just another fire.
That's the fire that, well, yeah, what they do is they stop it from starting.
Yeah, they stop it from ever starting, right? So, but they don't want to listen. Who are you, Abos? You just don't know nothing. I love Aboriginal people, but that's what they say. And that's what they say to us. Who are you Muslims? We're scared of you. They are scared of us. I've had my own dealings with high levels of government, and the coal-faced people have got no problems, but no one wants to sign on the dotted line. And I say it to them. I've said it to the ministers. You guys think I'm strapped and I'm going to blow up. You don't trust us. So what do you want? How's this problem going to get resolved? What do you want from us? We whatever you asked us to do, we did. Whatever you asked us to do, we did. When we told you this is not going to work, you didn't listen. What do you want from us? Don't come blame me. Don't come blame my community. Go look at your own capacity to police and find intelligence on people. So it's unfortunately crappy on both sides, for use of a better word. But as long as you know that, hopefully you can work in between the cracks to at least you can speak to people you know in your profession, your workplace. You can find things and put it on Facebook or whatever it might be. Because it's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation. Like, all right, it happened in 2001. This bomb. What have they done? What have they built in the Muslims where we are in southwestern Sydney to alleviate the problem? Why didn't they put an ice skating rink in? Just as an example. Or drive-in movie theatre. I don't know. Do something. What have they done? What infrastructure have they set up to un-radicalise people? Nothing. Done jack shit, stuff for the Lord Azim. They've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. No gyms, no pools. Let them play sport. Let them do something. I don't know. Build a cafe. I don't know. I'm not an expert in this area. But nothing's changed from the whole radicalisation mentality for the last 14 years. And you're saying we've got a problem? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And you're saying we've known about this issue for so long, and we're monitoring this person and that person. Give him a job. One brother, this is how smart he is. He goes, get halal finance. They're like, what do you mean? He says, once the brothers are tied up paying mortgages, they'll forget about everything. And it's true. It's true. When Toyota, look at the example, when Toyota gave free leases, interest-free leases, man, everyone was driving around new Toyotas. That's what happened 3 years ago. Everyone was driving around in new Toyotas. Everyone's got a new Toyota all of a sudden. Why not? That's what the brother's saying. He goes, and now they started, I heard some inklings, Nick Caldas, who's another deputy, it's what he was saying. He's saying that there's guys, they're just lost. Okay, fix it up. Don't come and blame us. We're doing what we can do in our limited capacity. So the word needs to be said. Don't be shy to say the truth, ever. As long as you don't say it vindictively and nasty. But what's happened? What's happened? One time at the mosque, when they had the big youth centre, They came from Today Tonight or Current Affair or something like that. And they were trying to put it on us, And they go, oh, what do you think of the youth centre? I go, what youth centre? They go, this building. I go, this isn't youth centre. This is Noah's Ark. I was like, what are you saying that for? I said, because this is going to save the people. This is going to save the people. Just like Noah had his ark and the animals climbed on it 2 by 2 and the ecosystem was saved. This youth centre is going to save the people. He goes, all right, you just stand over there, mate, and start talking to everybody else. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. So, but why should we be scared to say it? Why? What are you afraid of? We have to say it. It's part of taqwa. وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Say the right things. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put it on your Facebook. Don't be afraid to put it here. Don't be afraid to put it there. As long as you talk with respect, and as long as you're not trying to belittle anyone else. But we're doing our part as best we can. But we're the ones being ignored. We've told so many. I don't even bother with these peoples anymore. After I had that report from the Prime Minister's office, I told them, don't ring me anymore. Don't talk to me. Don't consult with me. Don't email me. Don't call me. Don't SMS me. Just leave me alone. Because what's the point of meeting with them and they say, oh, the guy admitted it right to our faces that it was wrong and he doesn't want to. What do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you? Came from the Prime Minister's office. What do you want me to do for you? I told you my view. What else can I do? Give me an army and some what do you call it? Some courts and some prisons. All right, then come and ask me what the story is. But until that happens, leave me alone. If you're not gonna listen to me, you're saying you're consulting. Then what for? Anyway, sorry, it was a bit of a rant there. But any other questions about any of those things?
What's a combatant? Is that like
Someone with,
a soldier, like someone with your fight?
someone who's armed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone. So if someone's armed and they're a non-Muslim and they haven't declared a war on you, you can't. Islam, we declare wars. We don't just like blow things up. Like wars don't happen by, just one day I'll wake up in the morning I'm gonna start dropping bombs on you. That's not how wars happen. Wars happen. You're doing that wrong, or you're coming and your cows are on my land. Get them off the land. Oh no. Okay, yep, they're off. Then they come back on. Then I take one of your cows. And then you come and say, where's my cow? So I'm not giving it back to you because your cows are on my land. Then you say, all right, look, I won't do it anymore. I'll give you back the cow. The next day they're there. Then I shoot one of your cows. And you're like, what? You shot one of my cows? I said, well, it's on my land. I told you not to be on my land. And then something happens and then it goes forward. Then someone gets involved. What's going on? He makes a promise. He signs a treaty. Look, it's not going to go on my land anymore. Okay, if it does, what's going to happen? I'm going to blow you up. Cows come on the land. I blow him up. That's how it works, right? It doesn't happen just from I wake up in the morning and I don't feel good and I want to blow. That's emotion, okay? That's emotion. That's what we're trying to overcome. That's what the nafs is. So when that emotion is tied to Prophet of Allah, right? That's when. And don't think it didn't happen to the Sahaba, Abu Darda, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, Muhammad Anhu. He became Muslim. He was a machine. The Qawat al-Turuq, they're gangsters. The tribe of Ghaffar, they're gangsters. The carjackers and gangsters. And the trade route, they were on the trade route. So if they were going to jack you can't trade. They were on the trade of Makkah. So what happened? He became Muslim, and the Prophet knew he could see his emotions overbearing. He goes, because he's a gangster. Hello. Who are these people? They're gangsters, most of them. Emotions overcome them. It's not because they're deen, it's because they've got other problems. Right? So, what happened? Abu Dhar, he goes into the middle of the Kaaba and he, oh no, whoever doesn't believe in that, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, whoever doesn't believe is a goner, blah, blah, blah. They start bashing him. The Meccans, they start bashing him in the Haram. Right? And then, I can't remember Sayyidina Ali came and said, what are you doing? This is Abu Dhar Ghaffar, he's from Ghaffar. If you kill him, then your guys aren't going to be able to trade. Oh, okay, let him go. He's all bashed. They take him back to the Prophet. He said, I told you to go home to your people. He said, I'm going to go. Next day, same thing. Third day, they escort him out of the village, out of Mecca, and he goes back to his people. And the Prophet says to him, when you hear I've made hijrah, then you come. And then when he heard, there's a cloud coming to Medina, and it was all of Ghaffar, the whole of his tribe. They all became Muslim. This is how gangster he was. When he went back, it was like he was from the gangster of the gangsters. He was from the mafioso. They call him the Godfather. His dad, he was the Godfather. And then when he went back, he goes, I'm a Muslim, I'm not talking to none of you until you become Muslim. That's what he did. This gangster, right? And he went back and they're all like, what? But you're the best of us, this and that. And he said, I'm on it, the best of you, don't I know more? And they're like, yeah. He says, that's it, I'm a Muslim. Either you're a Muslim or I don't want to know you. And then one by one, his parents, his family, they all become Muslim. So that emotion is it's nothing new. It's in the Sunnah. It's in the prophetic tradition. But so what if it's on La ilaha illallah habibi? The Prophet told him, rack off. Go back to your people. You're gonna destroy us. You and your emotion are gonna destroy us. Your emotion is gonna destroy what little, fledgling community we have in Mecca. What do you mean? Like, what are these people on about? They've got no clue. That's the prophetic way. So don't be ashamed to say it. Just don't pick on people. Don't pick on groups. You know what I'm talking about, but there's no need to say it. Because in the end, no one's going to differentiate between us and anyone else. It's not going to happen. We have to do that ourselves. We have to say, whoever doesn't adhere to this ideology, sorry, we're not associated with it. They're out like we were talking about the prayers. Whoever doesn't adhere, whoever doesn't love the Prophet, love the things of the Prophet, sorry, that's a different way, and we don't accept that way as the prophetic way. Okay? Sleep early. I told you this last 3 weeks. Sleep early so when you come, you're a bit awake. And try and come a bit earlier so you can pray the Maghrib. Anyway, next week will be probably 7:15 or something anyway. So alhamdulillah, we've got our Hajjaj, they're back. I'll ask you to do our dua because we know that the dua of the Hajjaj, they accepted because it's the day that when you come back from the Hajj, if it's Mabrur, it's the day that's like the day you were born. So if you haven't got any sins, Allah will accept you, inshallah. And so if you see any of the Hajjaj, catch them, and the people come back from Hajj, and ask them to do dua for you, ask them to make dua for you, and ask them to make dua for the Ummah. That's the way of the pious people. That's the Salaf as-Salih. That's what they used to do. They used to actually go out of the town and catch them before they came to their home so they can get the anwar and the rahamat from the haram and from the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, so they could be forgiven, inshallah.
Allah, let us benefit from these classes, Ya Allah. Let us take in all this knowledge, Ya Allah, and use it to the best of our capacities, Ya Allah. Let us take in all the word and all the knowledge and all the tips and all the things that the Shaykh has explained to us, and let us use them to the best of our capabilities and abilities, Ya Allah, so that we can be excellent members of the community, so that we can actually show the beauty of Islam, bring people to you and your Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Give us an excellent connection to you and your Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and let him enter into our houses, and so that he'll always be around us. He will always be within our souls and our way, and so that we can always have the Muhammadan lights, flowing out from us, so that those who are deprived of them are able to see them, so they can come to you, to come to your deen, become Muslims, inshallah, and benefit us with this knowledge and increase us in knowledge, inshallah, and forgive us all of our sins, all of us and our families and our family members, and have mercy on all those who have passed away from us, and bring back all those who have been misguided, Ya Allah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.
الفاتحة.